All right, I'm back at the mounds. I'm going to try to get these markers. Based on the large number of local mounds and artifacts, this site shows evidence of Indian occupation over 2,000 years ago. According to tradition, about 1780, Oakville became a Cherokee town located on Black Warriors Path. By the early 1820s, Celtic people of Scots-Irish ancestry had moved here in large numbers, often intermarrying with local Indians. Prominent names of this era include Irwin, Hodges, McNutt, McWhorter, McDaniel, Wiley. Galloway was a teacher of the first known school in 1824. And so you could, hopefully this shows up where you can read the rest of that. But this Black Warriors Path was traveled not only by the early tribes, but also, if my memory serves me right, Davy Crockett traveled this path, as well as Sam Houston. And so that's interesting. And I just returned from visiting with author and historian Ricky Butch Walker, who gave me that book that he wrote on Doublehead, Chief Doublehead. And so, turn this around, hopefully I don't turn it off. I'm going to walk over here to these markers, try to get these markers in one video, and walk over here to the burial mound and back at these mounds. So that mile marker that was in that one video, mile marker 3, they do a state track run here in this area, and this is over 100 acres. So a lot of things. And also the high town path was not utilized in the removal period, but it was just an old Indian path, very interest. And so here's another marker on Doubleday. So this is Doubleday, or Doublehead, not Doubleday. Doublehead, 1744-1807, was the son of Great Eagle, grandson of Motoy. Among his siblings were Pumpkin Boy, Old Tassel, and the unnamed grandmother Sequoia. After his sister's son, John Watts Jr., was elected chief over him, Doublehead moved into Lawrence County and became a powerful Cherokee leader while living at Brown's Ferry from 1790 to 1802. The head of the Elk River Shoals, Doublehead terrorized settlers on the Appalachian frontier until his 1794 meeting with George Washington. By treaty on 10 January 1786, most of Lawrence County became Chickasaw land. Doublehead was permitted to stay because of his daughter's marriages to Chickasaw Chief George Colbert. Learning of the wealth in cotton, Doublehead in 1802 petitioned the government for a kill boat, signed the 1805 treaty authorizing Gaines Trace, and negotiated the 1806 Cotton Gin Treaty. This treaty placed a cotton gin at Melton's Bluff and gave him a 99-year lease on Doublehead's reserve between Elk River and Cypress Creek. In partnership with John Chisholm, they leased this reserve to settlers on 9 August 1807. Major Ridge, Alex Saunders, and John Rogers killed Doublehead either for control of the cotton trade or for his ceding of Indian lands. So there's the marker. I hope it came in clear enough to read. And try to make it over here to this other, the burial mound, and these other markers. And so I'll be going to Decatur, picking up the Trail of Tears, and then through Muscle Shoals, Florence, and then into Tennessee. And there's a town north of Florence that I'll go to, and there's sections of the Trail of Tears that you could actually still see, and these old trails, these old paths, but then I'll walk that, the indentation of the trail, where it's, and Butch Walker's house was on the Chickasaw Trail, and also in front of his house was a Civil War trail, an old trail. I forget the name of that trail. And you can still see the path, which is interesting. So the Trail of Tears was over years and covered territory, northern Alabama. And you had the Creeks removal and Cherokees here in this area in the early 1830s. And so here is the Copina Burial Mound. I think I said that right. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Copina Burial Mound. Copina Indians built this mound with baskets of dirt some 2,000 years ago. The Copina name was derived from their use of copper and galena, lead ore found in their burials along the Gorgets and Celts. The mound was a burial site with the dead encased in a plaster of clay covered with layers of soil. The many burial mounds within a few miles are evidence of an extensive cultural center. The perennial springs and fertile lands encircled by West Flint Creek contributed to a large population of Copina society flourished here for hundreds of years, and they raised a variety of domesticated crops. Some 17 miles north of here, the Tennessee River provided an inexhaustible food supply of freshwater mussels. In the mid-1800s, settlers were buried on the mound under false stone crypts. In 1924, Smithsonian archaeologists noted 3 other burial mounds in the areas that were being leveled by farmers. And so in the mid-1800s, the slave graves that's on the other mound, that was from the mid-1800s. And here on this burial mound, Butch Walker has family buried up there. You can see the stones up there on top. So I think this paved here section is part of the Black Warrior path, and there's one more marker over here. I'm going to try to hurry to. I got this gallon of water hanging from my bag that is shaking and stuff, so later on I'll interview Megan and Todd, and the family that was allowing me to camp in their backyard. So this is a fascinating journey, an adventure following northern Alabama and the native tribal history here that's overshadowed by the Civil War history, and also the Trail of Tears development in this area. Historic Indians. 5 historic Indian tribes lived in this area by 1701. The Yaqui were living at the shoals on the Tennessee River in the early 1700s. The Yaqui left, some moving to the Cherokee Nation on the Hiawassee River, Tennessee, and others to Chattahoochee River, Georgia, after a dispute with the Cherokees. Some Yaqui, I don't know if it's Yaqui moved south to the Alabama-Georgia border. Although some Creeks lived in the area by the late 1700s, their lands lay south of the Tennessee Divide. The Treaty of Fort Jackson took Creek lands in southern Lawrence County. In 1814, the Shawnees moved to the shoals from the Cumberland and Ohio rivers, left which, 1935, says the Chickasaws and Cherokees forced the Shawnees from the Tennessee Valley in 1721. By 1760, Chickasaws moved into the Tennessee Valley from the west. The Chickasaw Boundary Treaty, 10 January 1786, gave Chickasaws ownership of the area. In 1769, Cherokees challenged the Chickasaws in the Battle of the Chickasaw Oldfield south of Huntsville. By 1770, Cherokees were established in Lawrence County. The Chickasaws and Cherokees lived in peace within the Tennessee Valley until the Turkeytown Treaty of 1816 mandated their removal. Today, descendants of the Creeks, Cherokees, and Chickasaws, among others, live in Lawrence County. On that other mound there in front where those steps were across into the field is the village that was here in this area. Okay, that's it. I'm back at the mounds. Had a great day visiting with author and historian Ricky Butch Walker, and also going up and seeing Hightown Path, which was an ancient, an old path. So this is interesting, and we'll be in we'll be in Decatur soon. So looking forward to getting there and doing some videoing the Trail of Tears there, and then getting into Tennessee and walking the actual trail.